One of the hardest things to say to somebody in life is no. We live in a world where so many people are so used to hearing someone agree with them or say yes whenever asked a question that when the idea of that person possibly rejecting, denying, or just simply saying no to whatever it is you have to ask, it creates kind of a tone of this person doesn't like me or maybe this person doesn't agree with what I do. And obviously in life we always want to be liked, we always want to be agreeable to most people, we want to be appealing to others. So we're always going to say yes, at least for the most part. That's why I personally believe that you should learn to say no a lot more often. It's something I've personally been learning throughout my life. Now when it comes to what you say no to, this really all depends on the situation that you're in. Maybe you say no to hanging out with friends that you know you probably shouldn't be hanging out with or that you know are going to waste your time from your goals. Maybe that's saying no to negative financial and spending habits. If you're someone who buys like a lot of clothes, a lot of unnecessary things that do not benefit you, saying no to these things are obviously going to be a very good plus and will save you so much time, energy, and just general headache in the future, right? Now, another thing that I personally believe that is very hard to say no to is the idea of who you're going to be in the future. Because the problem with a lot of us is we have an idea, we picture in our heads who we want to be, right? You know, we picture ourselves whether we're successful or we've impacted other people or maybe we have, certain things that we want to like, in terms of money, success, a nice physique, certain things that are typically harder to obtain. We picture this in our heads, but the minute we go to work on that goal and certain obstacles come in front of us, instead of saying no to those obstacles and pushing past them, we immediately give into it, right? Temptation, right? Not being able to develop into the person that you want to be in the future because you're still stuck in the person that you were in the past. And this is why a lot of us have such a hard time saying no when there is immediately pushback from our former self. Our first immediate goal is to try to tell ourselves that, well, I actually don't really mind. I think I can get away with doing this one more time, or it's not really that bad. These are the things that are keeping you in the same place you're trying to get out of. And when you're trying to work towards those new goals, there's always going to be something against you. And it may not even necessarily be just you. It may be your friends, your family, your surroundings, maybe even things that you do on a day-to-day basis. Not simply just you and your mindset. It's always going to be something around you that's going to prevent you from being successful. And you have to push through that because at the end of the day, when you finally get to that age where your goals that you want to achieve aren't really achieved and you don't really have that much time left to achieve them, the only person you can blame is yourself. You can try to blame the world, you can try to blame, surrounding issues because of the fact that you didn't achieve what you wanted, but it is really up to you and your actions that you commit starting today, the next day, and so on and so forth that lead to your success. Now, if I were to tell you right now that the only way to become successful in life was to say no to everything, you'd probably do it, right? You probably would absolutely do it. You'd be like, okay, well, I'm not going to do that. Nope, not doing that, none of this. But truth be told is life has a mixture of yes and no's. But the hardest thing to do is saying no to a lot of things because typically when you have to say no to something, that means that you have something else better to do or that you know it won't bring you as much benefit to your life currently right now. Which means that it's typically something that may be a little bit more engaging to do, right? Hanging out with friends, indulging in certain habits, maybe even simply getting off routine. These are things you have to say no to in order to preserve your future self. And it's through things like discipline, motivation, and having a good surrounding and environment that will lead you to say no to certain things that you know you don't need to do. And what I've personally struggled with over the years is learning to say no, even when I know to myself that I would love to say yes, right? A couple of days ago, I had a friend of mine, we were just kind of talking about this. And one of the main issues that I have personally is that when I finally begin to say no towards certain things, I begin to feel guilt almost immediately afterwards because I immediately in my head picture what I would be doing right now if I said yes. And instead, I'm sitting there doing what I have to do because I said no. And with that, there's always going to be some form of a pushback. There's always going to be someone telling you that maybe you should have probably said yes, or oh man, if you just simply said, yeah, we could have been here, we could have been doing this, that, and the third. But you have to remember that you said no for a reason. The only reason no came out of your mouth is because you immediately pictured something that was going to be either better or something that you actually wanted to do. And a lot of times in life, we have to say no. Point blank, period. Anyway, that's it for the video. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you guys do, make sure to give it a like and subscribe. We'd greatly appreciate it. Also, comment down below any questions you guys may have. And yeah, that's it.